Hi, it's Louise from Spiral Bright, and this video is a short introduction to the birth chart. Now, for anybody who is brand new to astrology and really doesn't have much knowledge at all about this area, I'm hoping that this video will give you some insight into what exactly a birth chart is and what they look like and what we're doing when we interpret one as astrologers. So a birth chart in astrology is basically a snapshot of the sky from the earth at the point of your birth. And in astrology, we like to get the birth time as close to the precise minute as possible because it does make a difference. We'd be looking for your time of birth, your place of birth, and obviously the date in order to calculate a birth chart. And we look at what all the planets are doing and where they're located. So in a second I will show you what a birth chart looks like, but if you've never seen your own chart or one before, or you'd like to create your own chart, all you need is your birth time, date and place, location in the world, and there are quite a few websites. Astro.com is a good one where you can go on and actually print off or create your own birth chart for free. So that is always worth doing. Alternatively, you can contact an astrologer. We use special software packages to create birth charts. Okay, so when you see a birth chart, they will always look like this: a round circle divided into 12 sections, and you can see, if you imagine this as a clock face, where you would normally have 9 o'clock is where the chart starts. So on this example, it's pointing to the left, it's pointing to Scorpio, and that's the symbol for Scorpio, and it starts at 22 degrees 27 minutes of Scorpio, and then you work round anti-clockwise all the way round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, back to 9 o'clock. So as you can see, this is an empty chart. There's no planets here at the moment, but around the outside there are the signs of the zodiac. Now there are 12 signs. In this case, we are starting at Scorpio, as I said, and moving around Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and so on. But you can see that each house is linked to a sign. And in this example, there are actually 2 houses linked to Scorpio and Taurus, and then other Capricorn and Cancer are sitting in the middle of house 2 and 8. So I'll explain that at another time, but this is just to show you that even if you don't have planets in a particular sign, every sign is active in your chart in some way. Okay, and this is an example of a chart. I've just taken a snapshot from the 30th of October, which was last weekend, and here we can see the signs all around the outside. The circle is split into 12, but within each or most of the segments and what we call houses are placed planets. Now, obviously, these planets are presented as glyphs. So astrologers will be familiar with the glyphs. You might not be so familiar, but if you're looking for your sun sign, that is a circle with a circle in it, which is just above 9 o'clock, say about 9, 10 to 10 or something like that. So in Scorpio, because we are in Scorpio season at the moment. So the planets, the way we interpret a chart is if we think of the planets as the energies in your life. So the sun represents your soul, your purpose, what lights you up. The moon is all about your emotions, what makes you feel safe. Neptune is about your dream state. Mercury is how you communicate. Jupiter is where you expand and where you experience abundance, and so on. The signs, so each planet in the chart falls under a sign, and the signs tell us how these planets are playing out in your life, what kind of role they manifest, because a sun in Gemini will behave very differently to a sun in Capricorn, for example, and so on. The houses represent parts of your life, so the setting, if you like. The first house, which follows the 9 o'clock point as you move around anti-clockwise, relates to the self. And the second house relates to things that you own and your values, your self-worth. The third house relates to the way you communicate and connect with others, and so on. So each house represents an area of your life, and we can look at your career, we can look at your love life, we can look at your daily routines, we can look at where you've come from and your roots. There's so much information that can be found within a birth chart when you know how to read it. And finally, you'll see in the centre of the circle there's lots of blue and red lines, some squares, some triangles, and this just tells us how the planets are relating to one another. So a red line may indicate a slightly more challenging aspect. That's the word we use, aspects between the planets. And a blue line is a slightly more harmonious aspect. So when, as an astrologer, we look at someone's chart, what we're looking at is how the planets are talking to each other, what signs they're sitting in, what part of the chart they're sitting in, and also we can drill further down into which elements are they. So are they in earth signs or air, water or fire, because that will affect the person. We can read what your talents and abilities are likely to be, where you might shine in life, where you might experience challenges. We can look at where you're likely to be abundant and find things easy, and where you might be restricted. So we can also look at what the ruling planet is of the overall chart, which sets the tone for the lifetime. We can look at which energy is dominating. There really is so much you can tell from a birth chart, and that this is just the snapshot of the birth time. Obviously, we can also look at transit, so how the planets are reacting natally to what's going on in the sky today and through the course of your life. So, I hope that's helped. I understand that if you don't recognise the glyphs, then it really does look quite strange perhaps, but at the same time, there are so many people out there who are able to interpret, and if you'd like to find out more, then please do get in touch with me. Thank you.